What's up, you guys? My name is Hutch, and I begrudgingly make videos and put them on the internet sometimes because I'm sick today. I got the itis. Got the itis from the wifey. She was puking a couple nights ago, and I was puking the day before that. I don't know who gave who what, but I do not feel good today. And on top of that, I am feeling a little out of sorts lately, which is fine. Everybody feels out of sorts sometimes. And I made a tweet about it last night, and I said that it's possible to talk about the bad stuff without being whiny or indulgent, which is kind of what this series is about, So You're. It is Friday, by the way. This is the So You're video, so if you have a suggestion for next week's topic, go ahead and leave it in the comments section below, and I'll scroll through and pick the ones that I'm interested in, and I think that I could say a few things on. There's like a couple things going on right now that's got me a little like unhinged. Mostly just because like I've been doing sort of different stuff or trying to do different stuff with the channel, and a lot of the times when you do that, you're met with resistance and the views drop a little bit, and maybe some people unsubscribe, and which is fine because like all my videos, the ratings are like really high. In the comment section, I think in my videos are unusually cordial and nice. Like sometimes you get people that are belligerent. So as far as like the group that I have and the channel that I'm building up again, I'm happy with it, but sometimes it is a little discouraging to see dips. And it's so funny to me because there's these 4 videos that went up on Machinima Respawn when it first came out, and those 4 videos are what a lot of people came to know me from those videos. And those 4 videos, it was like douchey nuke boosters and like a few other ones I can't remember. They went up in September or December of 2009, I believe. But all 4 of those videos were totally rushed. Anthony from Respawn had told me that they were going on vacation and they needed all the videos that I wanted to submit for December, like right then and there. And I think I already knew that and I forgot about it. But those 4 videos, I literally did one after the other, after the other, after the other. They were totally rushed, no polish whatsoever. And those videos blew the fuck up. And people came to know me from those. And there comes a time, I think, where I guess I should say there came a time for me where just sitting down and talking over gameplay is still fun for me sometimes. I still do it, but it can't be the only thing that I do. I have to keep trying new stuff because that's how I keep myself entertained, and I think that's how people keep themselves entertained. But I want to end my intro by saying to you guys, the ones that are giving me like a positive feedback and telling me that you're digging this kind of stuff, that means the world to me. Like this is my job and my livelihood, and that I have a lot of personal investment in that part of it, but I try to keep that separate, and the actual fulfilling part of this stuff is still there for me. I still feel good when you guys tell me that you empathize with something that I've said. Okay, so before we get into the actual comments part of the questions part of this video, I want to say that I saw this comment. I'll put it on the screen right now from Boats and Hose 750, which from a screen name like that, you wouldn't expect such a eloquent and beautifully written paragraph on what it is to be over analytical. And I'll read it right now. But people who are over analytical tend to critique things excessively and make things worse than they are. Also, they will become more susceptible to depression because it is more difficult to be happy. However, people who overthink things are typically more intelligent, thoughtful, and open-minded. Let's not forget that every vice can be a virtue and every virtue a vice. You said it better than I could have, and I commend you, sir. Felipe Ido says, so you're happy with the direction, the new direction of Hutch's channel, and I just want to say thank you. Dominic Alvarado says, so you're 18 and you've never experienced a real relationship. So my first gut reaction when I read that was, I doubt that's true. I think that you probably have many relationships, and I think that when you're younger, you don't have the experience or know-how to understand what exactly it takes to maintain a good, positive relationship. And when you're young, you don't really like think about that all that much. You don't think about like, well, you know, my friend's going through a tough time right now. Maybe I can just stop by his house and drop him off a cup of coffee and ask him how he's doing, or offer to drive him to the fucking beach or something like that. Those are the things that you do when you get older, and certainly some people do that when they're younger, but I would imagine that you do have real relationships. But maybe you're not quite equipped to nurture them in the way that you want to. And I could talk a lot about that, but I don't think I have to. Like, you guys can do a lot of research on your own. There's a lot of books and websites and forums out there for people, with people that give excellent advice and feedback on what it is to have a relationship with someone. So I just wanted to say that I think you do. And I think if you stick around longer, they'll start to become more apparent. But I understand the feeling of feeling like you don't know people anymore. That's another thing altogether. And I think that's a normal and an essential part of self-actualization and growing up, is feeling the rug pulled out from underneath your feet and you question everything. I think everybody needs to have a couple experiences like that in their life in order to be a fully actualized person. But that's just me. Anyways. Techly RS says, so you're insecure about your skinniness, I think? Yeah. Okay, so this one I definitely know about. I'm not only skinny here, I don't care, like I'll show you. It's not meant to be like nudity or anything, but I also have a dent in my chest, and as you can see, there's a scar that goes down here, a couple other scars right here, and I'm skinny. You can see kind of like the outline of my rib cage and stuff like that. So I was skinny and I had a dent in my chest, which I had a couple operations on, but it's still kind of there. And it doesn't really impact my health all that much. But so for the longest time, I was pretty self-conscious about being a thin man. And especially like if you walk around like on the street and in public, you see a lot of guys that are like yoked. And sometimes you'll see a pretty girl on their arm or something like that, and you'll feel like you need to be like that in order to get that girl, or in order to have that life, or in order to do this. And what I realized when I was older is that in high school, I think it's a little harder to pull tail, as it were, or get girls to like you if you're skinny. I think it's a little bit harder, but after high school, you will find a lot of girls that prefer skinny guys. And if you're tall, then that kind of makes up for being skinny for a lot of people. Like if you're tall and skinny, like at least you're tall, and a lot of girls like guys that are tall. If you're not tall and you're skinny, that's okay too, because there's someone out there that finds you fucking irresistibly sexy. And on top of that, for a lot of guys like me, for a lot of skinny guys, we don't gain weight very easily at all. Super high metabolisms, we're called endomorphs, I believe. That's our body type. Kind of hunched over, bony, gaunt, that sort of thing. Fragile bone structure. I've broken like 6 or 7 bones in my life. In fact, one of you guys told me that I had like Marfan syndrome, and you sent me on this like Google search from hell for 2 hours where I was diagnosing myself with that. But anyways, I think when it comes to being self-conscious about being skinny, for me, I just reached a point where I just couldn't be bothered anymore. Like I tried to gain weight, I tried to work out. And in the end, what was easiest for me was just to be cool with being skinny. And today, I kind of like being skinny. And tall, skinny guys have, big shoes. You get it. So because I'm feeling a little under the weather and I had that really long intro, we're only going to do one more, and it's from Yoshimans. And he says, so you're a young adult dealing with anxiety and becoming more and more depressed. So this is a theme that I've talked about a lot. In fact, some form of this question has probably been answered a few times on this series, but I do like addressing it again and seeing, because like a lot, I don't really think about these things before I pick the questions and I sit down and then it's just a freestyle. I don't really think about it too much. I might smoke a cigarette before and mull things around in my brain, but I don't really plan these things out. And this question is stuck out to me because of the way it was written. So you're a young adult dealing with anxiety and becoming more and more depressed. That's a tough one. It's hard to when you're talking to someone who's depressed, there is no burning bush thing that you can say to them that will make them snap out of it. And you cannot. Depression and anxiety are things that you cannot change overnight and do not change overnight. If you're feeling depressed and anxious right now, I think it would be better for you in the long run to anticipate or expect that you will feel this way for a little bit longer. The problem with depression and anxiety is that it can come from so many different places. People who are bereaved, people are getting a divorce, the loss of a friendship, the loss of a relationship, the loss of a pet. All these things can kick off depression and anxiety, but some people are born with a disposition to be a little bit more on the depressive side and the anxious side. And I'm one of those people. I deal with depression and anxiety almost every day, but at this point it's become, I've made friends with my depression and anxiety. I've become familiar with it. I know how I work now, and I know I can tell when I'm feeling a certain way that I need to that something needs to be addressed. So I live with my depression and anxiety, and I deal with it on a daily basis, and it's not hard. It was for a while, but now, right now, it's not hard. And what depression and anxiety for me, for people that have a disposition towards it, I think that it's about false belief systems. I think those are what really make people anxious and depressed. Because if you're anxious and depressed, you're probably paying attention, would be a good way to look at it. Especially in this country, we have, it's cliche, but our media is atrocious. We idolize and basically practice idolatry with celebrities and YouTubers, which I completely reject that kind of attention. But there's just not a lot when you look at what is out there in mainstream media. There's not a lot to be very happy about when you, well, there is, but in comparison, I think it's easier to see the negative things. And as a result of that, some people get really, really low. And I was one of those people for a while. And I think I had to make a decision at some point. I can't tell you when it was. I don't think it was a specific moment. But I think the way that helped me out the most with depression and anxiety was really accepting the fact that no matter how much bad and evil and sad things there are in the world, everyone has a responsibility to make sure that they are healthy, functional, and happy to a certain degree, because you can't be of service to anyone in the world or the world itself when you are trapped in a shell of self-loathing and doubt and confusion. It's really hard to be productive in any sense. And I think that for me, it was a slow process of allowing myself to feel good sometimes, like literally telling myself it's okay to not stress about Libya right now, or it's okay to not stress about the election, or anything, school shootings, or I mean, those things bother me. I feel emotions and bother when I see those things. But I do have to remind myself from time to time that life isn't meant to be taken seriously all the time, and it is absolutely essential to have friendships and time that you enjoy. And if you don't have that, then you're in trouble. I will say this, and I want to end it on an optimistic note. Depression and anxiety are kind of like they're kind of like having a cold. When you have a cold, you gotta like take certain vitamins and medicine, and you have to get plenty of rest, and you have to drink plenty of fluids, and you have to avoid like dairy products and stuff like that. And depression's kind of the same way. You learn what things set you off, what things don't set you off. You become more familiar with yourself, and that is empowering, my friends. That is very empowering, because that's where you derive a sense of self. That's how you make it in the world. That's how you walk down the street without being completely fucking horrified at what you're seeing. If you can be a rock and not bounce in the wind like a blade of grass, if you can be a rock and have your foundation be your foundation, and choose who you want to allow into your life and what you don't want to allow into your life, then eventually that makes a huge fucking difference. And I feel like a 16-minute video, and especially me only talking about depression and anxiety for 7 minutes, it does not do it justice. And I would encourage you guys to read books and talk to people and ask other people about their experience with it. That helped me more than anything. I would just walk up to people. I mean, I was bad with boundaries for a while. I would just walk up to people and ask them the most personal questions. And I think I was just trying to see if anyone knew what I felt like at the time. And I would never do that now, but at the time, that's what helped me out. And talking to other people that have been through what you're going through and have made it through the other side will make, I think, a huge difference. So those are two things right there: accepting the fact that you're allowed to be happy sometimes, and asking other people how they did it. And that's my video. And I hope you guys enjoy these kind of things. I speak to people directly that are experiencing these things right now, and anyone else. I hope that it benefits you in a sense that if it ever happens to you down the line, then you'll remember some of the things that I've talked about, and you might be more prepared, or you might understand that you're not the only one that has these sort of massively confusing feelings. And I sincerely hope all you guys are well. And I hope you have a good weekend. And I think that's going to do it. And I'm going to drink some coffee. I got to take the dog to the vet today to get some shots because we got to board him. I think we're going to cook like a stew in the crock pot. I don't know. I'm rambling. I'm going to go, guys. I'm feeling sick, and that's it. All right, bye.